Warm welcome, viewers. You're watching 7 at 7. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. It's the only news bulletin where we curate the day's top 7 stories. For our viewers, in case you're wondering what is this backdrop, well, it is the Agra Fort. I come to you. We are rolling live from the city of Agra. Well, you know, this stunning facade of the fort behind me, but very close, right? Just about 20 meters away from this is the district, Agra District Hospital, viewers. We've just been kicked out of there because the authorities don't really want us right now to film the COVID crisis that practically every city in this country faces, Agra one of them. Let me quickly now take you through the headlines. $524 oxygen concentrators seized after raids at Resto. BJP demands a criminal case against Aam Aadmi Party government for alleged mismanagement of oxygen supply. Delhi Minister Imran Hussain accused of hoarding cylinders. No relief for accused Navneet Kalra in Khan Market oxygen black marketing case. Court adjourns his anticipatory bail plea to Tuesday. Says no stay on police's coercive action. Fourteen-day lockdown in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu kick in from today. No inter or intra-district travel allowed in both states. Essential services exempted. "17 suspended minority employees at BBMP War Room can return to work as cops could not find anything against them in the bribe for bread case raised by BJP MP Tejashwi Surya. BCCI Chief Saurav Ganguly claims that due to the ongoing pandemic, it is difficult to hold remaining IPL matches in India, UAE and England considered as options. BJP's powerhouse in northeast states, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, takes oath as 15th Chief Minister of Assam, 13th Minister also sworn in. Twitter suspends Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor's account. Reason for suspension is still unknown, as no reason from officials has come in. All right, viewers, let's get to a top story filed by my colleague Sneha Murdani. One of the after effects of coronavirus is seemingly coming up, though rare, called the black fungus. It's an eye ailment. The doctors feel those with lowered immunity, especially post-COVID, can get it. It is rare. However, 40 cases have been reported in Gujarat alone.
It is called the black fungus, and this infection is back. Delhi's Sir Gangaram Hospital, which has seen cases of mucormycosis earlier, is also reporting a surge in this fungal infection once again. Last year, this deadly infection caused a high mortality, with many patients suffering from loss of eyesight, removal of the nose and jawbone. This infection is seen in patients who have recovered from COVID-19.
Major signs and symptoms of this mucormycosis kind of a fungal infection is the swelling around the face, mainly in the paranasal region. Along with that, orbital swelling, eye swelling, discharge from the nose. These kind of features we are seeing in the post-COVID patients.
Many COVID patients have diabetes as comorbidity, and this could be one of the reasons for this rise in black fungus infection once again. COVID patients with weak immunity are more prone to this deadly infection. Doctors say the infection is worse this time around.
पिछले साल हम लोगों ने कोविड की महामारी के बाद बहुत सारे केसेस ब्लैक फंगस या म्यूकोरमाइकोसिस के देखे थे। इस साल इस बीमारी का और बुरे तरीके से हम लोगों पर आना बहुत एक संभावना है, और इसका इलाज एम्फोट्रिसिन यानी कि एंटी फंगल दवाई से अस्पताल में और बाद में कुछ सर्जरीज से भी जरूरी है, अदरवाइज ये जानलेवा बीमारी है।
At least 40 cases of black fungus have been reported from Surat in Gujarat among those who have recovered from COVID-19. Of the 40, 8 have lost their eyesight. The number of such cases has increased as Gujarat sees an exponential rise in coronavirus infections. The infection triggered by COVID-19 is treatable, but if left untreated or if the treatment is delayed, the condition can lead to the loss of vision and in some cases, increased mortality. The general symptoms include one-sided facial swelling, headache, nasal or sinus congestion, black lesions on nasal bridge or upper inside of mouth that quickly become more severe. Symptoms of pulmonary mucormycosis includes fever, cough, chest pain and shortness of breath. Gastrointestinal mucormycosis includes abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting and gastrointestinal bleeding. The US Center for Disease Control or CDC says that black fungus is rare, but it's serious. Doctors say use of steroids in the treatment of COVID-19, coupled with the fact that many coronavirus patients have diabetes, could be one of the reasons for the rise in the number of black fungus cases once again. With Sanjay Rathod in Surat and Milind Sharma, Sneha Murdani in Delhi for India Today.
All right, viewers, the first wave, the rural belt across the country was pretty much saved where coronavirus was concerned. It was in the cities, not so much in the villages. However, the second wave has spared none, as much in the cities and now as much in the villages, the rural belt. We could see here right in Agra as well. But look at this report. It's been filed by my colleague Pankaj Khelkar. It's come from the tribal belt, Palghar.
Just over 100 kilometers away from Mumbai lies this quaint town of Palghar. But all is not well here. The sole government COVID facility in the area is maxed out. This is 58-year-old Kusum. Due to unavailability of beds, hospitals had to give her oxygen on the bench.
तो ऑक्सीजन से वही देख रहे लोग, लेकिन अभी जो मिलेगा वो बोले कि 10-15 मिनट में आपको बेड मिल जाएगा। घबराहट तो होगी ना सर, आखिर माँ है तो घबराहट तो होगी ना। ऑक्सीजन देता ऑक्सीजन ते देता है, इकडे बेड बोलते हैं ऑक्सीजन बेड म्हणजे तेच ऑक्सीजन बेड देता नाही तसा नाही, तुम्हाला ऑक्सीजन का घेऊन का रस्त्यावर बसायचंय का?
After a lot of pleading, Kusum's family managed to get an oxygen bed.
क्या बोला मैडम?
If I try and go inside, I will see that there are many relatives of the patients who are waiting under the tree, sitting in a cot, waiting for their turn. But what is also frightening is the fact that these people have not been tested. They have come to the hospital with a COVID patient. What if they too are COVID positive? Is there a contact tracing that is being done? As far as the hospital administration here is concerned, they are not saying much on this very issue.
This is the ground reality of health infrastructure in the tribal areas in Palghar.
पालघर जिले की शासकीय प्रशासकीय यंत्रणा है ये पूरी कोलैप्स हो चुकी है। प्राइवेट अस्पताल में इस पालघर जिले का आदिवासी समाज जा सकता है क्या? उनके पास इतना 1.5 लाख 2 लाख 5 लाख भरने के लिए पैसा है क्या? मेरा खुद का अनुभव है, मुझे एक एम्बुलेंस से ऑक्सीजन का बाटला निकाल के उस पेशेंट को घर पे ऑक्सीजन लगाना पड़ा, तो 4 घंटे बाद उसको अस्पताल में लिया। ये करने के लिए 7 दिन लगे।
Many people in the rural areas are dying and still they are not getting any help. Now, India Today will be visiting some of the rural areas in Palghar. And we will also be visiting some of the tribal families to give you an understanding of what exactly is the ground situation and why does people like Santosh say that they are not in any position to help these tribal people because the administration, as they allege, has turned a complete blind eye towards their needs and demands.
Like Kusum, many are finding it hard to get beds. Chaya managed to get a bed for her cousin only after 5 days.
त्याला इथे आणलेला बाटला लावला पण आम्हाला कोणाची मदत नाही भेटली.
प्रशासनाकडून तुम्हाला मदत
नाही भेटली.
Everywhere you turn, it's the same dismal scenario.
अपने घर में एक आध मरीज निकला तो अपन क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या नहीं. ऐसा मैं अकेला सोच रहा था कि मैं क्या करूं. अभी अकेला हूं मैं, औरत और मैं सोच रहे थे. हम दोनों जन रात में सोते नहीं थे और खाना भी नहीं जाता था. बहुत खराब कंडीशन हमारा उस टाइम था.
The youth blame the politicians for the sorry state of affairs.
हमारे गांव में एक भी बार किसी ने हमारे को बताया नहीं, मास्क पहनो, सैनिटाइजर का उपयोग करो, किसी ने अभी तक बताया नहीं.
ये इधर कोविड पॉजिटिव का जो पेशेंट है ना, तो ग्राम पंचायत से लोग भी नहीं आए कि इधर जाके फवारनी करे औषध विषध का. ऐसा कुछ हुआ भी नहीं.
What's worse is the fact that vaccine awareness in the area is negligible.
मनु जी, आपने वैक्सीन लिया?
नहीं,
अभी आपको लगता है वैक्सीन लेना जरूरी है आपको?
ऐसा तो नहीं लगता है हमको जरूरी है लेने का.
हम लोग ऐसे काम करते लेकिन वजन उठाते, धूप में काम करते हैं. हाँ, हम लोग
वैक्सीन नहीं चाहिए आपको?
जब जरूरत पड़ेगी जब ही लेंगे हम लोग, ऐसे नहीं लेंगे.
In a nearby village, there is even more vaccine hesitancy.
मेरे पड़ोस के आदमी को बताया कि तुम डोज लो, लेकिन वो डोज लेने से डरते. मैंने उनको बोला मैंने दो डोज लिया, मेरे को कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बीपी का प्रॉब्लम था तभी मैंने 2 डोज लिया, तभी कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है मेरे पास.
ट्राइबल एरियाज में बहुत सारे मिसकंसेप्शंस है, रूमर्स है. हमने सब फैमिलीज का सर्वे किया, उसमें फीवर क्लिनिक्स एक्टिवेट किए, फिर भी आज भी सुपरस्टिशंस है.
With Pankaj Upadhyay in Palghar, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, now to make it easier, more comfortable, more accessible, where registering yourself on the CoWIN app is concerned, the government opened up the API of the CoWIN platform for the third-party applications. But has it made things easier, more difficult, and is it open to hacking? More on this.
A scramble for vials running low.
हमारा 9 से 11 का स्लॉट है. हम यहाँ पे 8:45 बजे पहुँच गए, बट 9 बजे अभी स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है. क्या फायदा रहा आने का? फायदा क्या है? स्लॉटमेंट का फायदा क्या है? और यहाँ पे लोग जो है 12 से 1 बजे वाले भी लगे हुए हैं.
Gates have not opened. There is no point standing over here. Just see the social distancing. What are we supposed to do? Go back home? I mean, this is kind of ridiculous now.
This is the official platform for booking a vaccine slot. But in order to make CoWIN more useful, the government unblocked a key software for third-party developers to access data. The exposed code is called the Application Programming Interface, or the API. Simply put, it's like a messenger that sends your request to a service provider and brings back the response. For instance, when you look for a flight on a travel site, you are using APIs to access airline databases for information you want in real time.
The Application Programming Interface, or the API, is a protocol that allows two applications to communicate. APIs are often made public so that third-party developers could come up with solutions that enhance the experience of the main application. But in the case of CoWIN, it is now turning out to be a double-edged sword.
In the cases of CoWIN, developers are using the API to help people get automated notifications on availability of vaccination slots. With this technology, they don't have to manually log in to look for vacancies, often multiple times a day, in the overcrowded online space. This digital platform, LabNol, has created one such solution.
What we have done is, using these public APIs, we've built up a spreadsheet where anybody can put in their PIN code and they can put in their email address. And what the spreadsheet does is it keeps connecting to this API, say every 1 hour, every 2 hours, depending on the date that the user has set. And it checks the availability of vaccines. In case vaccines are available for booking, say tomorrow or day after tomorrow or in future date, that spreadsheet will send an email alert to the users.
But some are worried programmers may use the technology to completely automate the registration process. And if that happens, a large non-tech savvy population may miss out on the vaccination bookings, which the tech savvy folks might secure through APIs.
Now, how some people may have misused is, they may have created something called RPA, robotic process automation, a normal script running. So every time they figure out that there is a slot availability, what that script will do is it will automatically open the CoWIN platform, it will register the user, it will wait for an SMS OTP which will come to that registered mobile phone number, and then subsequently read it from the mobile phone, assuming there's an application on the mobile phone, and populate it. This is not, this is basically a bot automating human behavior.
The government, however, downplays the risk of mass automation. Officials say programmers may have used the APIs to receive information faster, but rule out their unlawful use for mass registrations. According to the government, the technology limits API calls and sets apart manual and automated requests by 30 minutes to ensure level playing.
The first change where they are limiting the number of API calls per IP address, that's a very welcome change, because obviously somebody would not be able to build a mass solution, rent a server and then run these mass automations, because obviously that would not be possible. Second is by caching the data and by delaying the serving of data by 30 minutes, obviously what you are getting, what alerts you are getting may not be real time.
But in a country with a vast digital divide, concerns are being raised over vaccine equity during a deadly pandemic.
So there is definitely an ethical concern, Ankit, because you are right. Somebody who is writing a script to automate the entire behavior, he definitely has an edge on somebody who is trying to do the entire process manually.
Experts suggest both the government and the private sector should collaborate on a bigger scale to make the technology accessible to the masses.
This virus affects everyone, and whatever we are building definitely should be able to reach the masses. But at the same time, one of the recent developments, very positive development, is Paytm, which is a very, very big company. They have also added this feature in their app itself, which I'm sure is used by several crores of people. So this is when such big companies take the initiative to incorporate such functionality in their app itself, it will definitely reach the masses.
Bridging the technology divide is going to be a key element in the fight against COVID. With Sneha Murdani in New Delhi, this is Ankit Kumar for India Today.
All right, welcome back, viewers. You're watching 7 at 7, and let's quickly dip into a fact-check segment where we bust certain myths masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp groups. There is a myth floating about that suggests COVID-pre remdesivir injection can cure coronavirus. False. The fact check on that, this is false. There is nothing called a COVID-pre remdesivir injection. COVID-pre and remdesivir have absolutely nothing to do with each other. If somebody is trying to sell you COVID-pre under the guise of a remdesivir injection, say no. With that fact check, it's a wrap on 7 at 7. Do stay tuned. Up next is our COVID dispatch.